Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to have everyone here today. Thank you for joining us to review the productivity tools that anyone can use in Acumatica. We have a wonderful group here with us today who's going to be presenting. We're very excited. We have Noelle from Bill that's going to be presenting the AI-Centric financial operations automation. Elin from Solver is going to be looking at the AI accelerated planning, reporting, and analysis for Acumatica. Kevin from Lightspeed Voice is going to be reviewing the AI-powered call integration for Acumatica. And Natalia from AvidXchange will be looking at Acumatica accounts payable automation. And Johnny from DataSelf will be looking at the next generation Acumatica reporting with AI. So very excited to have everybody present those things to us today. With that being said, Acumatica is a ever-growing community of Acumatica Cloud ERP users and experts who come together to connect, learn, and share with their Acumatica experiences and expertise. Our community puts the collective mindshare of Acumatica's user base and solution providers in your corner so that you can get the most out of Acumatica and solve any of your business challenges. The acu-connect group is an independent organization with a mission to provide Acumatica customers, partners, ISVs, and employees with opportunities to learn and share and connect. So if you would like to learn more about the acu-connect group, we would love to share that with you. You can find more at acu-connect.com. So please feel free to reach out to us there. We would love to talk to you about our group here. I do want to take some time to just thank some of our community sponsors. We could not do this without them. We really appreciate their interest and investment in the Acu-Connect community. Obviously, lots of people are working here with us at Acu-Connect, and we're always very thankful for their partnership. And truly, our operations are funded by sponsors. So we always like to take a moment to thank them before we move on to presentations. I do want to share some of the things that we have going with Acu-Connect here over the next few months. Here at the end of this month, actually next week, we're going to have our spring virtual networking event, which is super fun and laid back for everybody to just hang out. Then in May, we have from classic to modern, so another presentation in what's new in Acumatica's UI and kind of what to watch for there. And then we actually have a date for our virtual conference for Acu-Connect. It's going to be at the end of September. So we're very excited for that. It's our 7th annual Acu-Connect virtual conference. So we'd love for you guys to join us here for that. You actually have a little QR code down here in the corner that'll take you to the events page on the Acu-Connect website. So please feel free to check that out if you're interested in hanging out with us. All right. So one of the last things we're going to do in our presentation today is a little bit of Q&A. So if you do have questions throughout the next few presentations that we're going to do, please feel free to throw those into the chat. And we'll just make sure once we get wrapped up here today that we kind of go through and get those answered to the best of our abilities, or just make sure everybody who's presenting today has a chance to connect with you and get those answered. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and pass this off to our first presenter today.
All right, thank you very much. Let me go ahead and share my screen. We'll dive into it here. My name is Noel English. I'm a solutions consultant here at Bill. I've actually been here at Bill for the last 10 years. So gone through support, worked through implementation. But really what I'm going to go through here today is how we pretty much integrate with Acumatica, what we do here at Bill as well. Now you're seeing us as a financial automation tool. So this includes things like AP, AR, spend and expense all through our platform. As you can see here, some of the different features that we do have here in terms of AI intake of invoice and purchase order data, where we can help automate things like your approval workflows, getting set up very quickly. We provide a lot of payment flexibility. We are a money transmitter. We've got licenses in all 50 states, and we help mask the bank account as well. So that also ties into secure payment processing. Not only do we have a direct integration with Acumatica, but other major ERPs within the space, but we also have an open AI program for your developers, as well as import-export capabilities for any older systems that may not have API capabilities. And directly within our system, we do have unlimited document storage and management, as well as dedicated mobile apps for our various products. Just to let you know a little bit about the Acumatica Sync, still fairly new with us here at Bill, but we do have a deep native integration for both payables and spend and expense. We are working on it for receivables. Couple things to point out is, of course, we do have branch and project-aware coding, multi-currency support. We just rolled out purchase order sync for a two-way match. We have a three-way match going into beta next week, so this is constantly developing as we go along. We also have the stock item support. We're also taking a look at bringing in project tasks. That's something that's currently underneath development. And as you can see below, we have a couple other areas that we are working on as well to help improve this sync. Of course, if you'd like to get like a full demo of Bills, I'll be going through some of the workflows we have directly here. You're more than welcome to use this QR code, scan to book a demo. As you take that demo, of course, you can also win a Blackstone griddle. Be sent out over to you. I've got a 36-inch at home. I don't think I've stopped cooking ever since my wife got it for me. But also one of our Happy Bill customers as well that utilize our platforms too. You can definitely see that on our site around those testimonials. Well, let me go ahead and take you into a demo, show you a little bit of the bill workflow here. Generally for us, the inbox is where a lot of the detail will come directly in. You can bring documents in different ways, whether that be via email, direct upload. You can also take a picture through the dedicated mobile app. Really takes us about 5 to 10 seconds. As we read that information, we run a couple checks on the back end, like duplicate detection. We also have new vendor detection, as we do have a two-way sync for your vendors as well, where you can actually extract the vendor directly off the document, get them kind of onboarded. We can send out an invite where they can manage their banking information and join our network of 8.5 million businesses. But we also have a W-9 agent that can reach out automatically to that vendor if you flag them as a 1089 vendor. It'll reach out to them, converse intelligently, does TIN verification, business name verification with the IRS, then sends it back to our users for approval. Well, let's go ahead and dive into the bill creation process so you can see a little bit more of what our actual automation does here. So when I click on enter bill, you'll see a lot of information, or pretty much all the information at this point is filled out for you. This, of course, using a couple different technologies. So for our header level detail, we utilize an AI-powered OCR, or optical character recognition, which you'll probably find is pretty standard. We've been doing this for probably the last 7 or 8 years now. Grabbing things like your vendor name, invoice number, your dates, total amount. We can also read for your purchase order number, or you can select from available purchase orders that have been brought in from Acumatica. You can also read for payment terms or stick to the default ones that are set up for the vendor. But as we get into the line item level, we have an AI coding agent that was added back in November that is now predicting the coding for you based on a few factors. One, of course, being the history with this specific vendor. Of course, how this description has been coded out within the past, or for finding any correlation where a specific department or project or a chart of account is selected as it pertains to that description as it ties to that vendor. A lot of different decisioning that can happen there. Additionally, it also takes into account user behavior. If this was originally a 10 line item bill, it's something where you can merge those together, does the calculation, a little bit of coding as well. These are things that AI will pick up, or if you split it out a little bit further, maybe you add some type of calculation within the amount field. Again, things that the AI will pick up and calculate for you automatically. And it also contains a feedback loop. You can tell it, great job. You can give it a thumbs down, and it gives you a text box where you can put in exactly what the issue or where it had missed. Not only does that go to our AI, but also to our internal teams on top of it. And if the AI is ever way off, this is something where you can always undo it, and it reverts back to our older technology, which basically takes the information from the previous bill and automatically applies it for you. So ultimately what this becomes on the AP side is just a review process and making adjustments as you go along. Because on top of it, we will also automatically route for approval. The approvals can be automated by setting up bill approval policies, and these policies can get very granular. The one that I have set here is actually a really simple one. It's just my marketing department. So whenever that's selected, it goes to my executive team. But this can include other things, other parameters like amount thresholds, line item amount thresholds, any of your basic dimensions that you might be utilizing here. And then there's also additional logic that you can utilize to help make it more streamlined for yourself. And you can have as many or as few approvers as you prefer. They can be individuals. We also have an either or option with approver groups, where you can have an either or option where all those users that are within that group will have access to approve it, but just requires one person to do so. But we'll go ahead and create this bill here. And that, of course, will send it out to the approver. Once the approvals are complete, which they can do through a web application or the mobile app when they get a push notification or an email when it's their turn to approve, then those bills will wind up in the unpaid bills queue. In the unpaid bills queue, this is where your bank authorized users will go in, select which invoices they'd like to pay, set when they want to pay those invoices utilizing the process date, which is also unique here with Bill. You do have the ability to future date your payment, so the funds won't actually leave your bank account or funding method until that date hits. So I can push it out into next week, next month, next year. That'll set the process date as well as the arrival date. From there, you can also edit partial payments, or we can also bring over vendor credits and apply those directly here and put that in the remittance detail to the vendor. Now we do have different payment types where we can send out physical checks. We've got our ACH network of 8.3 million businesses. You may run into some that are set up via virtual card, and we also support international wires in local currency or US dollar. And basically, we'll just be pulling the funds out of your bank account or other funding methods where we also have our own Bill Cash account where you can earn additional interest. And also a tie-in with our spend and expense platform for any of your virtual card accepting vendors, where now you can collect on rewards for your AP spend. And of course, as these payments go through, you have total visibility and control into those payments where you can cancel payments, void them, decide to return funds back to the bank account. We also have an additional approval workflow for payments if you'd like to include that within your workflow. But ultimately, whenever you make a payment through Bill within our platform, you're no longer left in the dark trying to understand what's happening with the payment, where in the process is that payment, things like proof of deposit, as well as what actions are made available to you, such as canceling, voiding, returning funds back to your bank account, or reissuing a new payment to that vendor. But that's just a quick demo. Again, if you feel like you'd like to get a little bit deeper on that, we do have the Blackstone giveaway if you'd like to book that demo with us. But thank you so much for the time here today.
Thanks, Noel. We appreciate it. Ms. Inland, whenever you're ready.
Yes, thank you, Morgan. My name is Ellen Zeng, Senior Solution Engineer here at Solver. So today I'll be walking you through what Solver has built along with our AI. So first off, what is Solver? Solver is an AI accelerated extended financial planning analysis solution that increases access to actionable insight beyond the finance department. So the extended means offering a solution beyond finance to areas like sales, marketing, operations, HR, and beyond. Solver XFP&A solution includes everything you see here on the wheel on the left. It's planning, so that's budgeting, forecasting, workflow. It includes reporting, like financial reporting and reporting packages from multiple data sources. Obviously, from ERP sources like Acumatica, we have a pre-bill connector that can rapidly bring in the data into Solver, but also your non-ERP data sources like CRM, HubSpot, or Salesforce, payroll data like headcount, or operational data that are sitting in other database. Moving along this wheel here, next is analysis. Think of rich dashboard and KPIs that takes your data and turns into insight by helping you answer questions that you didn't know you might have. So when you see data represented visually rather than a traditional table format, insights will pop out at you and helps accelerate intelligent decisions. And finally, on the left here, Solver is a powerful consolidation tool, bringing together, say, multiple companies, multiple currencies, multiple ERPs even, allowing you to have access to all your history while being able to refresh your latest data. Solver was built around data, connecting multiple data sources, like I mentioned, to become a single source of truth to power all these functionality that we have described. Typically, consolidating data is the biggest challenge. What Solver does is we offer a SaaS solution that sits on Microsoft Azure. User interact that on the right here, user on the right here interact with Solver through a web browser to consume their reports. They become self-serve. They can input their budgets and leverage Solver Copilot to give them their insights. These reports and budgets are templates and designed by power user in Excel with Solver's designer add-in. So you don't have to learn another proprietary language. You can use all the Excel formulas that you love, and the formatting that you use for your reports will just work. The difference is that these templates are no longer living in silos or sitting in an email attachment. These are all living in Solver's data warehouse, that one version of the truth. This slide shows Solver's AI strategy. We have 5 pillars that we focus on and how Solver architect our entire platform from around AI from the ground up. The first pillar that you see here is the experience layer. This is the face of the AI in Solver. Think of it as Solver intelligent assistant built directly into your planning, your reporting, and your workflows. Instead of digging through dashboards or waiting on the finance team, users can simply ask a question in natural language. It's designed to accelerate this intelligent decision for everyone in the organization, and not just the power users. The second pillar here is Solver's intelligence agent. This is what's behind Solver's Copilot that handles the automation, prediction, and contextual intelligence across the platform and helps you automate these workflows. The third pillar is Solver's agents. These are the doers. These are what you think of as like the specialists, the autonomous agents that actually do the work behind the scene. Today, this includes your help agent, Solver help agent, your always on guidance resource, the analyst agent, which surfaces anomalies, identifies trends, and deliver predictive recommendations. We are also developing new, exciting new agents. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit in the next slide here. The fourth pillar here is Solver's data warehouse, the environment. Of course, we talked about AI is not going to work without data. All of your reports are built on your data. This is the single source of truth where all your data comes together. What makes it especially powerful is that our AI is built on SQL star schema, which means that it's uniquely AI ready. The last pillar here on the slide is the authentic intelligence. That's our guiding philosophy. Every feature that we build is evaluated through this lens. Does this accelerate your intelligent decisions? So in closing, when you look at these 5 pillars together, you're looking at a cohesive end-to-end AI strategy that Solver is built on, a platform built to grow with you as AI continues to evolve. The next slide here, I want to talk about Solver's AI journey, the timeline of Solver's AI journey. I mentioned we already have the help agent, the analyst agent ready and available in every solver instance. We're looking to roll out planning agent and task automation engine by the end of Q3 of 2026, which is quite exciting. So the next part here, I want to actually bring you into a solver demo. And here, I'm going to talk a little bit about this monthly reporting package. Solver's reporting package, this specific reporting package here has multiple worksheets and tabs. Not only does this give you a comprehensive view of your business, it gives you a really detailed view of your financials, right? So in this specific demo, I'm going to focus in on this consolidated P&L tab. What this is showing is your revenue, your cost of sales, right? If you want to expand, you can expand into get to get a detailed view of your specific operating expense here. And then the columns are showing what is your current period, what is your last year, same period, some variances. So it really highlights how you're doing compared to last year, as well as comparison to your budget, okay? So if I bring up this Solver Copilot here, I can easily ask a question here where it will help me bring up a financial insight. So imagine if you're walking into a executive meeting to present what happened this month, what are you what happened this month, what the business story you're going to walk into the room with. I can put in a prompt here. As a world-class CFO reviewing this P&L report, identify top 3 anomalies, value, trends, or relationships that appears unusual or inconsistent. For each anomaly, explain why it stands out, what might be causing it, and whether it indicates a data issue or a business issue. They recommend one area that deserves deeper investigation and why. So Solver Copilot really went to work quickly here. It surfaced 3 observations here. So you can see that's broken out into details. It gave you why it stand out, what the probable causes is, and also made a recommendation around what you should dive into deeper. So this is available in every single one of your Solver instance. You can start with some really easy prompt, or you can get into some really deep detailed prompt here to use for deeper analysis. Okay, so that's a quick demo here. I'm coming back to my slide. I wanted to thank Acu-connect for inviting me to come on to this webinar, and I want to end this presentation with sharing a quick white paper on 6 tech trends to watch in 2026. You can scan the QR code here, of course, to download this white paper. Okay, Morgan, I'll pass it back to you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kevin, whenever you're ready.
Hello, my name is Kevin McKinley. I am a Senior Regional Account Manager with Lightspeed Voice. Very happy to be participating in this Acu event. And just want to give you a little bit of information about our company and our integration with Acumatica. We're located, our corporate office is in Southwest Florida, in Venice, Florida. And I actually joined Lightspeed Voice in April of 2015. So just celebrated my 11th year with them. And we've had a great journey. I was one of 15 employees at that time. We're over 100 employees now. We've had tremendous growth in our customer base and our employee base. So a little bit about Lightspeed Voice. We were actually founded in 2009 as a premier provider of cloud-based AI-powered voice over IP communications. We have a great integration with Acu, and it's kind of a unique story on how that came about. We use Acumatica internally for our billing platform. So we reached out to Acumatica, I believe, 6 or 7 years ago, and our software engineering team developed the integration. So we actually use it internally every day. So the company was actually founded in 2004 as a local managed service or managed IT provider in Venice by Brad Fuller, who's our CEO today. 2006, he started to build out our voice over IP technology and platform. And then in 2009, it was launched. In 2010 to 2022, we've had rapid expansion. At one point, we were one of 3 preferred voice over IP vendors or providers for all of Allstate around the country. And again, about 6, 7 years ago, we built out the integration with Acumatica. If you go to the Acumatica marketplace and type in the word VoIP, Lightspeed Voice will be the only name that comes up. And then 2023, we started to offer managed IT solutions again to our customer base. So not only can we provide you with voice over IP with an integration to Acumatica, but also with managed IT, cybersecurity for your company as well. So why Lightspeed Voice? Number one, we have 99% client satisfaction rating. If you Google us, we have a 4.9 star Google rating. I checked it earlier today. We have about 972 customer reviews. Our service level agreement is 99.999% uptime, meaning you're virtually never experience any downtime on Lightspeed Voice. We built out our platform with our customers in mind for a purpose-built workflow. Seamless integration with Acumatica, which I'll go into. I'll show you a short video here in a couple of minutes. But we give you tools and features that were developed for our customer base. We are a unique company where once a quarter, we will have a customer forum where we invite members of our customer base to have a virtual meeting with our leadership team, as well as our software developers. We like to hear feedback on what's working great and also what they would like to see. If we get enough requests for a similar feature or an enhancement to a feature, we'll build that out and push it out to our customer base. We are kind of unique in the VoIP space where we are a 100% US-based team. So everybody from leadership to sales to billing to our software engineers and even our tech support are all located here in Southwest Florida. So white glove support, what you can count on from us. Again, I mentioned the Google rating. We have a very easy ticketing method. So if you need to change something within your platform or you do run into a technology issue, 3 modems to get us. Number one, you can email our support team. You can submit a ticket right through our user dashboard. The best part is you can actually pick up the phone and call our tech support. On average, 45 seconds or less before you're talking to somebody in our US-based tech support team in Florida. Rapid resolution. Average resolution time to an issue is under 8 minutes. And then personal touch. That's what we're all about. We have very happy customers, and you'll see in a slide in a moment. Last year, 2025, we were voted one of the top companies to work for in Florida. So happy customer base, happy employee base. So review the technology, plug and play phone system. What that means is if you do become a Lightspeed voice over IP customer, we will build out the platform based on your specifications. Very customizable, very flexible platform. We will provision the phones with the extensions that are going to be on there, send them out to you. We train your staff on how to use the platform, teach you how to use the Acumatica integration. But again, a seamless integration with Acumatica. We have a terrific solution that we introduced about 1.5 years ago called Nova AI. Stands for Next Generation Office Virtual Assistant. We were kind of ahead of the curve on the whole, infatuation with Nova. It's a great AI-powered tool that gives you a complete transcription of a call. It will provide a smart summary of that call along with sentiment analysis, which includes positive, neutral, negative, and mixed. One of the best things about it is if you do subscribe to the Nova AI, that smart summary of that transcription will automatically go into Nova in the Activities tab, along with capturing the call activity, inbound, outbound call, which extension and the name of the person at that extension, talk to the customer, duration of the call, and then a link to a call recording, which we save for about 3 years. Okay. Also, that text messaging is also captured. We do provide text messaging. You could do it from the company main number. You could have additional numbers for texting, maybe one for sales department, one for billing, and all of that text activity is also captured in the Activities tab within Acumatica. Mention a little bit about the Nova AI. We are working on our next iteration now. We're calling it Nova Pro. It's going to be released on May 5th. Nova Pro is going to be an enhanced version of Nova, which also has the ability to ask Nova, which is kind of like ChatGPT for conversations. You can ask our Nova about conversations. It will also do a client success or an agent success score, meaning you can build out parameters of what you want your employees to be talking to about with your customer base, and it will score them based on those parameters you put in. It will give them what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, what they can do to improve on the next call or interaction with a customer. It'll provide you with a template for a follow-up text and email. So great tool, again, that's coming out May 5th. One of the great things about our Nova tool, it will redact personally identifiable information right from the transcription and the smart summary, meaning it will redact bank account information, social security number, credit card numbers, names. We do also provide all of our customers three ways to talk to your customer base. Number one, you can use a physical desk phone, but you don't have to. We're seeing a big migration to computer soft phones and mobile applications, but you can use all three with ours. We do have a terrific mobile application that I use on a daily basis. I have an hour commute from my office to home every night, and inevitably I'm talking to a customer or a prospective customer. You can text from the platform as well. You can have a phone book of your customers and prospects for easy contact with them, and you can even transfer calls from that mobile device. If you are using a mobile device and you're out and about, no need to worry. That conversation, that call activity will be captured in Acumatica, along with that call recording and the Nova Smart Summary. Let me show you a quick video. I'm not sure if you can hear the audio, but I'll kind of speak through it. Real-time caller information, instant call pops, meaning it brings up the customer account record, whoever answers that call. The call activity, text activity, email activity will all be captured in Acumatica in the Activity tab as well. And let me just want to fast forward a little bit. So if you do want a demo, that's what our sales team does on a daily basis. All you have to do is go to lightspeedvoice.com, click on the product tab, and there is a spot where you can click to request a demo of our integration with Acumatica. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. We appreciate it. Natalia, whenever you're ready.
Alrighty, thank you. So I'm Natalia Harris. I am a principal solutions consultant here at AvidXchange. I've been with AvidXchange a little over 11 years now, so excited to go through some Acumatica AP payments powered by AvidXchange. So really quick, who is AvidXchange? AvidXchange, we have been leading the market in accounts payable automation. We've spent over 25 years building the infrastructure, earned the trust of over 8,000 active buyer customers, and make over 100,000 payments every day. And with more than 4.9 million suppliers in the AvidPay network over the last few years and 1.5 active enrolled suppliers in our network, we meet your vendors where they already are. So when we talk about evolving the payment mix, we're not theorizing. We have the platform, the relationships, and the operational depth to actually execute it at scale every day. And our business, it supports over 1,600 employees nationwide, serving you as the buyer client every day, and also our supplier clients too. So the problem in payments is how it slows down the AP team, and not to focus just on the AP, the payment rails, but let's talk about the workflow. So there's too much manual work, and even within an ERP, payments often break outside the workflow, forcing teams to print checks, manage bank portals, download data, import to bank portals, go outside of your ERP environment to execute that payment. Maybe there's rekeying data, handling exceptions, managing remittance, all those parts that slow down that entire process. Where we help that problem is, we're embedded in the ERP. So we're going to focus on that here shortly. The other part of this is the supplier complexity. Every supplier wants to be paid differently. And without that streamlined way to manage preferences and the onboarding, AP teams are stuck chasing down details and acting as the middleman. So with our, extensive supportive team here at AvidXchange, we have dedicated individuals supporting your suppliers, preferences, onboarding them to our services of payments, and also giving them the platform for visibility without having to, contact your AP organization on their payment status, which leads to lack of visibility that could slow down your AP team today too. So with real-time payment status, the payments that we're producing or executing for your AP organization, for your organization, as well as remittance visibility, AP teams field constant supplier inquiries and spend time tracking down those answers. So we give you that visibility directly in your accounting system, Acumatica, and we give that visibility directly to your supplier customers, also our supplier customers, to view their payment status and communicate with us too. So that leads me into how AvidXchange and Acumatica accounts payable has been the selected power payments for this middle market business. So first is just to be truly embedded. So make payments without leaving Acumatica. So you're going to see this here in a few slides of how we're embedded in Acumatica for just in your accounting system. You're going to create your payments as you do, but now have an option to send the payments to AvidPay for full payment processing, which means less manual work and faster payments. So automate that payment execution, the check runs, they eliminate follow-up manual tasks. Maybe you're submitting a positive pay file, maybe you're following up on these checks, communicating with vendors. All that manual work goes away with just one click of a button directly in Acumatica, which is why we have a supported group here that handle your suppliers. So our supplier enrollment, we enroll suppliers to the network, we facilitate their payment preferences, and we support you with that visibility and help you scale too. And then to focus on built-in security, AvidPay, we have dedicated fraud teams and built-in protections, like I mentioned, the positive pay, to help detect those, to help detect and stop suspicious activity before it becomes an issue. So by shifting more, spend to secure e-payment options, we're reducing the risk associated with paper checks, like check fraud and check washing, and we help our customers adopt safer, more reliable ways to pay. And because AvidXchange is, also a licensed money transmitter across all states to, push the funds to your suppliers, your customers, suppliers' payments are backed by compliant, regulated infrastructure. So without requiring you to carry that burden anymore. And we're designed to scale with your business. So supporting, growing businesses, AvidXchange is in the mid-market and into larger markets as well, but we handle the volume, the complexity, and the complexity within the suppliers without adding additional headcount to your team. So let's see how this looks in Acumatica. So the simplicity of this demonstration today is, you're familiar with Acumatica. The payment selection can be done the actual payment record. With this, AvidPay widget, you're able to also preset all your vendor master to dictate if it's going to AvidPay, and you also still have your other payment options that you may have already in-house. So again, AvidPay is going to be a tool to where you'll have a choice to send payments to AvidPay for processing, and as you can see, it's as simple as selecting that at the payment record or having it default from that vendor master too. But ultimately, once that payment is selected for AvidPay, whether there's one payment in this list or a batch of payments, let's say 1,000 payments in this list, once you click process, Acumatica will give you a processing completion queue. And then what happens next is the following. So once you generate the payments in Acumatica, and maybe you have approvals in Acumatica for approval processes for payments, but once the payments are approved, what happens is within your accounting system, AvidXchange begins to move the money. So within Acumatica, it's going to tell us which cash account to pull the funds from. And with AvidXchange, we work with every bank and any bank. So I always say, bring your own bank. So we'll work with the bank, that Acumatica is telling us to pull the funds from, but we'll begin to move the money and debit the funds from your existing bank accounts individually. So let's say you sent us 20 payments today. You'll have 20 individual drafts by AvidXchange, which makes your bank reconciliation clean because it's an individual per payment debit. And then when we pull the funds, we'll also match which vendors are already in our network. So we have a full supplier enrollment when it goes to the network, and those vendors may not already be in network. We'll talk about that here in the next slide of what our enrollment does. But to stick on the path here, again, you create your payments in Acumatica. You may have approvals there for payment workflows. You then send, process to AvidXchange, and we pull the funds. And then vendors get to choose their preferred payment election with us. So to go through these individually briefly, vendors get to elect, a one-time use MasterCard that's preloaded for the required funds needed to successfully process your approved payments. And since virtual cards are pre-funded, there is no credit involved. So suppliers accepting virtual cards must have an existing merchant account in order to process their payments. The second e-payment offer we offer your suppliers is this AvidPay Direct. And it's our enhanced direct deposit that offers suppliers, the ability to, receive those funds quicker without having to process a virtual card. But once your supplier is enrolled in the AvidPay Direct program, all payments are automatically deposited from, all payments are automatically deposited into their desired bank account from the AvidPay account. And detailed electronic remittance is also sent to your supplier's preferred email address with every payment. And just to give you a visual of what that looks like, it's going to look like this. So your suppliers are going to get an email remittance, and then naturally it would look like this. So on the left-hand side, it's going to save your supplier much more time and reconcile that payment with that detailed remittance, which you will also have a copy of that directly in Acumatica and in your companion portal. And lastly, if a vendor does not want a virtual card, or they do not want a direct deposit, paper check it is. And then we can offer them paper checks. They're issued by AvidPay clearing account, which also eliminates your exposure to check fraud risk. And we have the positive pay for services that are included with no extra costs for every check printed. So for consistency, all AvidXchange checks are formatted identically, but do reference your business name and for ease of reconciliation against that invoice. Now we showed the remittance. So I'm going to fast forward here and talk about the supplier enrollment real quick. So once you've uploaded your approved payment or clicked process from Acumatica, suppliers that are already in our global database, we've contacted them previously. So they've been set up with a preferred payment method before. And these in-network suppliers will automatically receive their payment method in the method they've requested in the past. So if the supplier is new to the network, then our supplier payments consultants begin outreach to contact each business and establish the preferred payment method. And the supplier payment consultants will offer suppliers that virtual card, the direct deposit, or check. And it is important to note that we cannot make contact with your supplier if AvidXchange does not hold your payment. So we wouldn't, again, we wouldn't contact them until you release the payment to us. And each day payments are, cut as checks and sent the following day via first class USPS mail. Let's say if if we're not able to reach the vendor by 4 p.m. So what that means is we'll never hold your payment hostage. And Periodically, AvidXchange will reach out to the suppliers to see if their business needs have changed and confirm that they're satisfied with the preferred payment method, while a supplier's preferred payment method will determine how they will receive all of their payments from AvidXchange customers. And it is also worth noting that your suppliers can change preferred payment method at any time. And something that you're not going to see in this presentation is we do provide your suppliers a portal. So they're able to communicate with us, change payment method, see remittance information, pull proof of payment documentation as well. Now, the payment timelines are quite quick. So day one, as long as we receive your payment before 3 p.m. Eastern, we're going to debit your account that same day. And again, those are individual ACH debits from your payment. So it's a clean bank reconciliation for you. And we're also matching, again, which payments are in the vendor network, which vendors are in the network, and then reaching out to those that we don't already know. Then day two, we execute. Every payment is going out the door day two. Virtual cards are the fastest with that next day delivery. AvidPay Direct, 1 to 3 days of delivery, and then checks, 3 day delivery and 3 day plus. And the other thing with AvidPay is we do have a lot of check printing facilities across the U.S., so we're able to accommodate the map, based on where your vendor is located. And lastly, day three, vendors that elect that direct deposit option, funds are going to be available in their bank account. And as I mentioned earlier, we are sending that remittance to them via email. And again, they have a portal to view that information. Lastly, what you'll see in Acumatica is that payment status. So this is going to be an external processing box that's going to tell you that that payment has been processing, that the payment's processing, or it's cleared. And it'll also show the disbursement method, whether the vendor shows a virtual card, direct deposit, or check. What you'll see here in this snippet is going to be a virtual card proof of payment. So with your proof of payment records, you're going to have that PDF, audit trail, that type of information that is going to be directly in Acumatica. So the goal is we want to improve that experience where we keep you in Acumatica to create your payments. You have your workflows in Acumatica, you execute the payment from Acumatica. We're that full service provider behind the scene to facilitate that payment for you with payment status here. So I want to thank acu-connect for bringing us in to present today, and for the audience of taking the time to review AvidXchange. So if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Natalia. Mr. Johnny, whenever you're ready.
Thank you, Morgan. Can you hear me?
I sure can.
Perfect. Appreciate it. All right. So I'm Johnny Girardi, DataSelf's founder and CEO. I'm a self-proclaimed big data geek. And my conversation here today is about improving your decision support system. And I want to start with the pains that we address. And from a decision maker standpoint, if you're a manager, these are the two biggest pains that we hear people complaining, when they need something better than what comes with Acumatica. By the way, Acumatica has a great reporting platform, but if you have these two challenges, you're going to be needing DataSelf. The first one we call slow KPIs. If you're a manager and you need to make a decision, you need to find some information about your Acumatica data or any system that you have. If you don't find that information now, typically nowadays, most decisions will be made without the proper information. If you ask for your business analyst, your people to build a new report, I tell that usually a new report means when you get it is 1 minute too late. That's often hours, days, sometimes weeks away. And when you get it, it's too late. Yeah, thank you, but now it's useless. Throw out the effort because I don't need it anymore. So the first problem is the KPIs are too slow. You press the refresh button. If it takes more than a few seconds, many people don't wait. They just go out with their lives without the information. If they need something new, forget it because it's going to take too late. When they're going to get it, it's too late. The next challenge for managers is what other KPIs, key performance indicators, should I be paying attention to? Nowadays it's crazy. People are trying to keep track of the threats and opportunities, and quite often they realize something is there's a threat in the business or something was missed when it's too late. So these are the two main complaints. DataSelf, when we bring DataSelf to a client, primarily, KPIs become fast. I tell pretty much, you get them now. On average, 80% of a manager's question, that they don't have a report or a dashboard ready in Acumatica or any system, 80% of those requests, the managers can find the answer to their questions by themselves when they have the question. So make KPIs to be entered now, not 1 minute too late. In part of the technology is having AI that can, people just ask questions in plain English and the tool gives the answers. There's a lot of ad hoc analytics available, an analysis, so business people can actually slice and dice the data without calling the experts. And finally, in our package, we have more than 8,000 best practices, industry-specific KPI libraries. If you're construction, manufacturing, there's a lot of KPIs that if you're not paying attention to, you'll be inspired to see what the best practices are in taking your decision support system to the next level. So these are the challenges and the benefits for decision makers. If you are a business analyst, a data scientist, someone working with reports, the main challenges are you're probably overly busy, working like crazy, sometimes, outside of business hours, over the weekends and whatnot. So that's one of the complaints. And quite often, the reason why you're so overworked is because you're using what we call inefficient and underpowered reporting platforms. Acumatica has an amazing reporting platform comparing to the other, competing products, but it's not a enterprise level analytics platform like DataSelf. And what we bring to you, the business analyst, is automation, AI-assisted data modeling KPIs. So a lot of things today takes sometimes hours and days. Sometimes you can do in seconds and minutes. So much faster to get the job done. And it is an enterprise-grade business intelligence with AI. There's a lot of tools, a lot of power, and a lot of the things that you need to do the work. You just ask the built-in AI, or even if you go outside and ask ChatGPT and Claude, there's a lot of ways that you can become self-sufficient because of the enterprise-grade BI with AI platform. So those are the pains and benefits that we usually tackle. This slide is primarily talking about our business value. So if it's a business user, primarily what DataSelf Analytics Plus does is it takes the data out of your systems, Acumatica, payroll, CRM, Excel sheets, Google Analytics. Any data that you have can be extracted from your system, put into a data warehouse where the DataSelf system will organize out of the box. It will give you the power to organize further as you need, and then provide you with ways where you can easily analyze it, having a lot of reports and dashboards out of the box in AI to help this whole framework. So that's very high level for business perspective. If I peel the onion and I show for the techies what's behind the scenes, this is the architecture. On the left side, all of your data sources can be integrated into DataSelf, Acumatica, ADP, any data that you have can be brought over into your data warehouse, can be provisioned in your cloud, in our cloud, on premises. The architecture is completely a Lego block. You decide where to put it. All of these tools here is primarily they're going to make your extraction, transformation, loading something that is no code, low code, full code, in AI assisted. There's a lot of power, and I don't have too much time to go into them today. The way that you and your team will visualize your reports inside of Acumatica, outside on both, are using enterprise-grade, powerful reporting tools like Power BI, Fabric, Tableau. We also support Domo, Click, and a lot of others. So we're not bringing underpowered tools. We're bringing what Fortune 2000 companies take advantage of. We're just making it easier, simpler, and faster for you to have a decision support system like big companies. Ultimately, decision makers will be more self-sufficient. They'll be able to tackle a lot of their KPI questions by themselves. And this whole technology is based on Star and Galaxy schemas. Star schemas have been around for a long time. Maybe you got to be using it and know them. Galaxy schema is fairly new, and there's an amazing business value to talk about, but today I don't have time. We'll talk in more detail if you want to learn more. We've been in business for over 21 years. So now, we can have a drink. We are more than 21 years old. We started to support Acumatica in 2017. So we've been working with Acumatica for quite a while. And we've been working BI with AI since 2018. So BI with AI is not new for us, but absolutely starting 2024, the new generative AI took this whole platform to a new level. There's so many business value to get out of it. We cover many types of different industries. So if you're falling into one of these, we have an amazing out-of-the-box solution with a lot of KPIs that are industry specific. AI nowadays is a big deal. We have a lot of very practical use cases. These are 3 examples: business people asking KPI questions and finding answers right now using, let's say, their mobile devices. AI can monitor KPIs, can send alerts, and also can help the business analysts, data scientists, to do their job a lot more efficiently on the back end. This page is where we talk about the 8,000 KPI best practice industry-specific library. If you take a screenshot of this and you visit our website, this page here shows about 40 different 2-minute videos of the most popular KPIs out of 8,000. And if you click this link here on the website, you go into the actual library showing the 8,000 plus KPIs available on day 1. If you want to learn more about DataSelf, here's the contact information. And thank you, acu-connect and Morgan, for having us as part of this webinar today.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Johnny. We really appreciate it. And I appreciate all of the presenters that joined us here today. I do want to let everybody have the option, if you guys have any questions for anybody who presented today, contact information, websites, if there's anything you guys have questions about, please feel free to put them in the chat and we'll get them answered as quickly as possible. I do want to give everybody just a little bit of time to get any questions in. If not, we'll be done for the day, and everybody can go about their Thursday. So I'll give everybody here just a few more seconds to see if we have any questions in the chat.
Morgan, there's questions in the questions window.
Oh, is there? Oh my goodness! I do not see them. I'm so sorry.
Well, we'll just run through them real quick. There's quite a few, but DataSelf, can one drill down go from, for example, P&L report to customer sales item, sales for a customer, and the late shipments for that item and customer? Okay, I don't know. Johnny's still here. I think he might have left. We'll get back to you on that one. AvidXchange, could you email me a detailed process? Okay, I'll send that on to Avid. VoIP for Lightspeed, are all Acumatica customer phone numbers automatically transferred to Lightspeed?
Yes, you would, just to kind of clarify, the customer would have to transition over to Lightspeed voice over IP solution, and we can port your existing numbers over to our platform.
Okay, also for you, can an Acumatica user see the recording from an Acumatica CRM customer record?
It's in the activities tab under that customer account record.
Okay. Is Lightspeed a cloud PBX or an IP PBX?
We are a cloud solution.
Can Solver see the item sales? If so, can it see the returns? If so, returns are more than 30% of the shipments. Please give those items with high returns.
That one's for me. Oh,
I was going to say, is that a question for Solver?
Yeah.
Okay. I think I might need to dig a little bit deeper into what you're describing, but assuming I understand it correctly, Solver has the ability to drill down into specific line item and give you details on that. And then if that drill down is there, that data set is there, we can also use AI to inquiry and get insights.
Okay, well, I think that's all the questions at this point. I'm not seeing any others. So Morgan, if you want to wrap it up.
Perfect. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. The acu-connect community always appreciates people's interest in our wonderful presenters. I hope everybody has a wonderful rest of their week. Thank you.